Yeah, good morning, everyone. I think I got disconnected. Even today, I'm having in my area, there is a fiber cut, so I'm not getting a broadband at all. So I'm stopping the video, but so that at least we will continue with the session. Okay, so whenever I get the internet connection, I mean the broadband connection back, I'll start the video again. So good morning, everyone. Let me have a word. People have not joined because you're used to like me joining late, but you can always join 5 minutes earlier than me and be there, stay there prepared. So I need to ask you, I need to have responses. So guys, start answering. I'm not going to ask the same question 10 times. So I had given you a weekend assignment. So I'll ask you specifically, since there are very few of you here, I don't know how much of a correct feedback I'm going to get. So tell your friends to join fast. Otherwise, they will miss on the revision and all. So tell me, the we had already created, I had shown you creation of the student address, course, all these pojos. Has anyone tried this part, linking the address details to the existing students? Is it working for you? It's done. Okay, some of you are saying, very few of you are saying this, So today's lab, whatever you have, whatever you could not do, I'll take it in the today's lab. I just want to have a feedback. Updating the address for a particular student, tried the 4.2. Okay, some of you are again saying yes. So like, I just want to know, has anyone, you remember we were having a problem because I had disabled, not disabled, I had commented that JDBC driver class. So after that, has anyone attempted this? This was the major one, integrating Hibernate with the, what do you say, with a web application. And I had removed that error. So after that, did you try to import the project? Let me ask you a specific question. Hear my question properly. So have you imported this project? And is it at least working in the sense, are you able to see that index page and no errors on the console? You remember I was getting that class not found exception. So at least that part is resolved. Okay, so I will again take a feedback because right now only 161. So very few people, I mean, okay, a lot of people are still missing. So in the lab session today, of course, I'll be there the whole week. So I'll take this and then I'll get the things done from you. So this is what I just wanted to know. Now today what we are going to do is, we are going to do a revision of mapping related annotations, which is really more than important. And then I'm going to start you on as quickly as possible, many to many, because other all relationships we have seen, one to many, many to one, sorry, many to many is pending. And then I'm going to take you in the second part, second type of pojos. So before I say second type, can anyone tell me what is the relationship between the two entities such as course and a student or student and an address? Which type of relationship exists between these entities? Has a. Why only one answer? Where are others? Only 2, 3, 4. I want more answers. Of course, it is an association. It is not used as a, it is not is a, it is a has a relationship. Agreed? Has a relationship have two flavors. Aggregation, light coupling or weak coupling, and composition, strong coupling. So tell me, which one have we exercised? Aggregation or composition? What we have done is the aggregation, where a student can exist without a course and vice versa. Student may not have an address or etc. I mean, I have shown you this as aggregation. So when I take you to entity and value types, you will see the relationship between entity and value type again has a example. The same example I had taken, I purposefully take same examples long back in core Java. So here I'm going to take student has a Aadhaar card. So Aadhaar card, can it exist without the owning entity such as student? It's a Boolean question. Answer is no. So what type of a relation, what type of association will it be? You can see composition or aggregation. Of course, composition. So in core Java, we used to say that nobody, no third party code should be allowed to create the instance of the Aadhaar card without the enclosing entity such as student. So today you will see similar, not similar, same association as composition, but without using nested class. Using couple of annotations, we'll get it done. Okay. And after that, in second half, I hope to start with Spring. So we will have all remaining days, 8 to 9 days to spend on Spring. Okay. So let us get started. You start answering. Guys, wake up other guys because they are missing the important revision. You have your official, unofficial, all these groups, I know. I mean, you must be having. So please send them. And like I said, it is 8:12, so I expect people to join in time. Okay, start with because only point is I don't have any problem. You guys miss out on the revision. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Maishali ma'am. So here they should actually they need not be told. So anyway, so tell me what is the let's start with the quick revision. At the rate mapped superclass. Is it a class level annotation? Is it a method level? Is it a field level annotation? It's a class level annotation. So tell me, when you write at map superclass, can you have at entity annotation on it with the same class? Of course, no. So tell me the significance of map superclass. Will it come at a superclass level or subclass level? Obvious question. Superclass level. And what is it you are telling Hibernate? That this is going to be a common base class, common superclass from which other entities can exist. Sorry, from which other entities will Sorry guys, I'm having a lot of problems today with internet. So I hope I have switched to other phones network. Let's hope that it doesn't give me problem. It doesn't give us problem. Am I audible? I'm not started the video. So yes, thank you so much. Okay, so we were talking about your annotation map superclass. As we said, it will be applied on the base class. And other thing what we said is it won't have any table associated with it. Everyone clear with map superclass annotation? Everyone would have used it already. Now, a very important revision. So be ready to answer. You know that we have established between course and a student, which type of relationship, unidirectional or bidirectional? You can talk in this thing, short forms, bidirectional. So if you look at it from course to student, what type it is? One to many or many to one? It's one to many. And from student to course, what it is? Many to one. Everyone understands it? So the moment you say you want to establish an association, aggregation in this case, you have certain annotations. So question number one, if you don't add any annotations, what will happen? If you just added in student, course property, in course, collection of student. So, and you did not add any annotations. What did you observe? Give me quick answers. I have already revised it on Saturday. In the absence of annotations, what did you observe? Mapping exception. Absolutely correct. So now let us start, what do you say? Let me start asking you the questions on annotations. I told you the maximum questions you get in is on annotations. So which is the, okay, this annotation, where will you add? You C for course, S for student. Of course, course. So let me say this. I've just picked up whatever we had created in course Pojo. So at one to many, is it mandatory or is it optional? This annotation mandatory or optional? M or O? 100% mandatory. Now start answering. If you don't add the mapped by property, what was the observation? I'm just trying to ask you wrong answer, Shubham. If you did not add this, yes, the third extra table, joint table was created. And when you have one to many and many to one, only foreign key based mapping is sufficient. Okay, so okay, let me ask you W kind of questions. I have given all of it in writing on Saturday sequence. So who is going to read this mapped by? Of course, Hibernate. This is where this will appear on the owning side, which contains the foreign key, or on the inverse side, where it doesn't contain the foreign key. Inverse side. So your course is a parent side, one side, inverse side of association where it appears. And this is to tell Hibernate that whatever follows is the inverse side and which is the one. And okay, what should be the value of it? Value should be the name of the property as it appears in the owning side. So in simple English, this is just to tell Hibernate who is the owner of the association. So who is the owner of the association in our current case? Course or a student? Student is the owner of the association. Very right. Next question. If you don't mention the cascading, what is the default value of cascading? If you don't add any value, what is the default value of cascading? Cascade type dot none. You should do the homework properly. It is not going to cascade, neither update nor save nor delete. So tell me, if you don't add the cascade option, and suppose for one course, suppose one course is launched, and you just say this thing, what is it called? You just say c dot add student. We had written the helper methods S1. So in that case, will student record get inserted, or will you have to explicitly call session.persist S1? That was quite a mouthful. I'll repeat my question. I think people got it, but for everyone, it's not only for 10 of you. I said, listen to the question. No cascading. I have not supplied cascading, so it is cascade type to done. No, cascade type to none. So in that case, C is the course reference. Let's say Java course. And when I say C dot add S1 and transaction dot commit, Will the student record get inserted in the database or won't? Answer that. Again, the network issue. Am I audible, guys? Okay, I'm audible. You are not answering. So record, okay. So you are not answering. The answer is the student record will not get inserted because where you have supplied the cascade on save from course to student. So what is it explicitly you'll have to do? Tell me. If you don't use any cascading, how will you end up saving the student record? Explicitly, you'll have to call session.persist S1. Are you getting me? So imagine the pain if you have 10 students for a particular course to be enrolled, you will have to say, session.persist S1, session.persist S2, session.persist S10. Getting me? Instead, add the cascading. Okay, and you simply say c.add student S1, S2, S3, and Hibernate will insert it. So that is the cascade on save. Other thing, suppose you have said cascade type.all, what all it includes? All three: save, update, delete. So now answer the question. If I if I want to cancel the, we have done all of this on Saturday. So I'm asking you questions. So if I delete the course, how will I delete the course? Session.delete C1 followed by transaction.commit. So will all the associated children records, that is student records, will it get deleted automatically or will you have to explicitly delete? Gets deleted automatically. Are you getting it? So if you need, guys, this is project tips time, project phase time. So here, if you require such cascading, will you have to, can you use unidirectional association or will you have to use bidirectional? You'll have to use the bidirectional one. Got it? Next one. Now the next question I'm asking. If I say a particular student wants to cancel admission, I'm not saying canceling the course. One wants to cancel the admission. So like how we had written add student, we had written remove student also. So now answer the question. You have observed all of this. I hope you have revised it in the Saturday lab. So if I don't mention orphan removal equal to true, and if I simply say C1 dot remove student S1, which of the following will happen? S1's foreign key will be assigned null, option 1. Or second option, the student one, S1's record will be deleted from database, or none of above. Answer is only the foreign key. So you are just delinking, guys. But where you have told Hibernate that if there are any orphans, remove them. So that is why you have a property whose default value is false, orphan removal true. Okay. And since we wanted to have a one course having multiple students, we went for the easiest collection list. So tell me, are all the annotations 100% clear in the one side? Okay. Now you have to configure the many side. So this is your student side. Okay. So where you will write it? In which Pojo you will write it naturally? We wrote it in the student Pojo. Okay. So now how do you tell? Okay. Let me ask you, between these two, which one is mandatory? First one, second one, both or neither? Which one is the mandatory annotation? First one. Otherwise, you will get org.hibernate.mapping exception. Next one. So start answering. Why there is a single course? Because it is many students referring to the single course. Wait for some time. I'll show you many to many and we'll speak differently. Okay. So now, if you don't mention join column and name, what will be, who will decide the name of the foreign key column? Everyone understands it? Hibernate. And what is the default naming strategy it will use? It will just take this property name and append it by the primary key column name of your course. Got it? So we do not want it. So here, now what will be the foreign key column name? A clear-cut course ID. Next one. What is the default value of null label? True or false? It is true. Means what? the earlier case, when you say cancel student admission, and if you are not set orphan removal to true, you will just get a foreign key value as null, but it won't shout. It won't shout means it won't give you any exception, and you'll happily assume that things are working. Instead, what should be the, should you ever allow foreign key value to be null or not null? 100% it has to be not null. So how do you add not null constraint? Simply make null label equal to false, and that will be this thing. What is it called? That will add the not null constraint. Are we clear so far completely? Has everyone tried it independently? Okay. Today I have an ambition. I'm saying I don't know whether it is ambitious or realistic, but I want us, I'm not saying you because I'll be there in the lab, to port entire means entire CMS is little too ambitious over the board, but at least the admin part. You remember we have admin part and we have a customer part. So we already have it written in JDBC, GSP, Java Bean, etc. So we want to port it to your Hibernate, and let's see whether you enjoy it, whether you understand it. That's the what do you say, plan in the lab. So at that time, you will, of course, have a better clarity. So now come to the next question. In your, see, I'm trying to prepare you for your project phase. So if you realize in your project phase, example, topic and tutorial, that's a good CMS, case study. So in that CMS case study, I'm not opening the page flow, otherwise it will slow down it. We'll waste time. So recall, you open CMS case study picture and tell me, do you require anywhere in the question we have solved, any cascading option is required or not required? I'll repeat the question slowly. Open the CMS case study, and in that case study page flow, do you require any cascading from topic to tutorial? It's a Boolean question, yes or no. If you say yes, no, I'm going to ask you either way. So people are saying no, you are right. So what can you give me that this would be the example, this would be the requirement of cascading? Okay, let's not waste your morning time. If I had said somewhere option, delete entire topic. Are you understanding me? Then with cascading, it would be easy. By the way, without cascading also you can do that, but then it would have been better with cascading. Or if I had asked you the option, add a topic and get a list of tutorials directly added to it. Cascade on save. So since I'm not asking you anything, so if you don't need cascading, what do you think will be easier to configure? Next question, bidirectional association or unidirectional? 100% unidirectional. So now you have two choices. You can have one-to-many unidirectional or you can have many-to-one unidirectional. Which one is recommended? If you use one-to-many unidirectional, guys, it produces huge number of extra queries. So the recommended option is, this is new. This I had not discussed earlier, but here I'm just discussing the concept. In the lab, I'll get it done. So recommended option is many-to-one, unidirectional, many-to-one. So a project tip again. If you say in your project, there are loads of cascading requirement, cascade on save and delete, update typically not, then you have to, it is better if you configure it in the bidirectional manner. But if you look at your entire project and you say, no, there are no, I'm not giving any use case for cascading, then definitely I'll suggest go for unidirectional many-to-one. So now in that case, let me ask you, guys, participate most. I'm telling you, you'll start enjoying. So here I'm asking you, what will change? Okay. So here I'm getting this as it is from here. So anyone wants to tell me, suppose these are my bidirectional ones. So in the below picture, what will change? So tell me, any change in the course Pojo? Yes or no? Are you understanding my question? I'm going to give you an example of topic tutorial. I mean, it will be tutorial to topic. I'm not sure whether you understand me because all of you are wrong. What is the relationship I'm talking about? Course to student, student to course, both are neither. Course to student, student to course. Guys, where are your arrows? Course to student. Guys, unidirectional many to one. Please wake up and respond correctly. Unidirectional many to one. So from where to where you will be able to navigate? Student to course. I thought that was obvious, so I did not write this, but looks like it is not. So all you are doing is student to course. How many students? One or multiple? Multiple. Referring to how many courses? Single course. So now tell me, change or no change? Yes. So don't tell me just change. Of course, what change? Wrong answer, Prashant. Try again. Anyone? Quickly. Wrong answer, Mohammed. I don't understand you, Shubham. Guys, see the highlighted code. Exactly. Abhijit is right. Guys, this entire property is gone. Can you access from course a student any longer? Yes or no? 100% not. So this was an obvious thing, guys. I was expecting a correct answer. Never mind. As long as you understand, I'm okay. So there's a whole, why did I say it will be easier to configure? One full side is gone. Take an example of student and address. Did we add any address related stuff in the student? No, it was a unidirectional from address to student. Then why you are giving me a wrong answer? Okay, so the entire thing will be gone. So in course Pojo, no student-based property. So all those things, mapped by cascading, orphan removal, all that headache gone. No, you remember helper methods. Which helper methods I'm talking about? Add student, remove student. All these are gone. So doesn't this simplify your this thing? What is it called? Association mapping a lot, completely. Okay. So now in student Pojo, tell me, change or no change? In the student side, will there be change or no change? Simple question, simple answer. Think and answer. Only thing is don't blindly blurt out. Give me some answer, but fast. We have a lot to revise. Now you are scared to answer. Answer something, I'm there to correct you. 100% no change. Okay. So here, zero change or no changes in student still is pointing. Multiple students can refer to single course. So no this in student. You got me? So here, this will go. This will be like this thing. This will be the change in the Pojo layer. And how will you admit a new student in a given course? How will you do the student admission? Do you remember the inputs we were taking? We were taking something like, okay, that can be course title, course ID, I don't care really. And suppose the student information, student details. So how we were doing earlier? You remember how you were doing earlier? So here we were taking course title, course ID does not matter. So don't get stuck there. Whether it is course ID, it is session.get. Course title, JPQL. So by the fourth day or fifth day, I don't know, fourth day or whatever in Hibernate, those basics should be clear. Are you clear on those basics? Did you understand what I said? If somebody gives you title, fire a JPQL and get single result. If somebody gives you a course ID, fire session.get, do null checking and go ahead. So that basic clarity I do expect on fourth day or whatever day. Okay, coming back. So how were you doing earlier? From the course title, we were getting a this thing. What is it called? Course reference using a JPQL get single result. And then we were using a convenience method c.addStudent S1. Okay, so now I'm asking you, suppose imagine that they are added in reference 1. But now tell me, in the modified picture, can you use c.addStudent method in the unidirectional association? Answer that. No, because there's no student there. So how to do that. I'm giving you in points. I'm going to take a separate case study, CMS topic tutorial, and that time you will anyway see. So let's write the example code. I'm writing in points. So still you will have to get a course C, because otherwise how will you how will you know how to link it? So course C is equal to session dot create query. And what will be the JPQL? You type it out. You can type in this thing, what is it called, short form. Then set parameter title. I'm writing all in this, and dot get single result. Yes, tell me. I'm looking at your answer. You did not type? You're typing, I hope. Which JPQL will require for getting a course by title? It's not started typing. I was expecting somebody to type. Select C from course C, where the title is C dot title. Yes. So after this, control comes to the next line, means itself means course title, course by the title is found. Otherwise, which exception your get single result will throw you? Which exception? No result exception. Very right. So now anyone wants to tell me. See, I don't have C dot add course S1. That option is gone. So can anyone tell me the next line, please? Yes, all the queries are absolutely right. So tell me the next line now. I can't say C dot add student. We have removed the student from that side. Yes, please. Next line. Okay, I'll write something. You tell me correct or wrong, because I'm not getting any answer from this. Yes, very right. I'm so glad to see this. So if I say session dot persist S1, will the student record be inserted in the database? Yes. But will it have the associated? Okay, what will be the value of the foreign key? Null or not null? Null. So what is it you'll have to do before that? Tell me, guys. You had already answered, so let me not trouble you again. Set course or whatever that set chosen course equal to, assign it to C, and then you do this 100, and of course, followed by commit, and that will do the job. Understood this correctly? Like slight changing, there's no cascading, so you do it yourself. Now the last one, and we'll go to the next revision. How will you cancel admission? Cancel admission student. So the input he is given is, okay, this is my student's email. I always like to ask you different questions, so your mind, doesn't get addicted to only one thing. Suppose I give you student email. He has given you an application, sent you the application to the administrator or course coordinator or whatever. I want to cancel admission for this and this reason. Tell me how. You give me the steps. You give me the plan. Okay, so I got a JPQL. Very good. Next. So he started with the JPQL. So when I say JPQL, I understand session.get create query, set parameter, get single result. All understood. Next. What next? S1.set chosen course to null. Okay, what next? C.remove students is totally wrong answer. You don't have a student from the course at all. Session.delete S. So guys, think your own answer. Is there any need to say S.set chosen course to null, since that record itself is going to be deleted? Are you understanding the point? So the only solution, only requirement will be, so the example code, fire the JPQL. Okay, I'll say this. Try it out. I'm giving you so many things. So you have to be like, hardworking types. So here I'm just taking this. The moment I give you whatever the student ID, just change it to get. So JPQL, you understand the JPQL. So JPQL will be email based finder. I hope everyone can manage that. This is not a student, this is not a course, this is a student Try it out. Best is try it out. I'm going to give you an example, but with topic and tutorial, not this. Set parameter to which one? You'll be setting it to email and then get single result. And all you need to do is forget that set chosen course. Guys, I understand you're thinking, you are delinking, but that whole record is going to go off. So why do you want to set the foreign key null and all? And simply say session dot delete to S. And of course, follow it by commit. So who performs what and when? Your Hibernate will perform the automatic dirty checking here. Will find this particular student reference, I mean persistent Pojo reference is marked for removal and delete query will be fired. Getting the feel, getting the concept. So, you know, it is really easy. That is why I started you with the hardest one, the toughest one to many bidirectional. But if your project doesn't require all that fancy stuff, accessing the navigation from both sides and all, basically one word answer, cascading. If cascading, go for one to many bidirectional. If no cascading, simplify your whole logic by saying whatever it is. What is it called? The unidirectional association from many to one. Never ever configure one to many unidirectional. Trust me on this. Okay, don't trust me, you try it out. Involves so many queries. The last one, and we are good to go. Display the student details for a specified course. I'm just checking whether you are getting the feel of it by the 4th or 5th day, whatever. Display the student details for the specified course. So what will be the input, guys? Input can be course ID. Input can be whatever. I mean, anything. Okay, let's say course ID. Change. So give me the plan. If I ask you this question in a unit, okay, let me say this. If I had asked you this question in a bidirectional, how you would have solved it? We have solved it. So I have a right to ask you. You would have simply said, yes. In a bidirectional, how you would have done it? I've given you the course ID. So from course ID, what you would have got? Get method. Get method will return you what? Course reference. And then what you would have got? You could navigate from course to students. So c.get students. And you would have done the job. In the in the persistent context, otherwise, you know, lazy and exception and all that. That also we are going to revise. But today, you don't have now unidirectional. So is there any method such as c.get students or no such method exists? No such method exists. So tell me, I'll give you half a minute. Otherwise, I'll give you. So user has given you the course ID and I want to find out maybe student names or full details. I don't care. Anyone. Is the question clear? Is the problem clear? I cannot access the students from the course side. That's your problem statement. Give me the answer. Okay, clue. Clue is JPQL. No, I want a full JPQL, Aniketa. I'm not accepting. You are right. S not chosen course. Okay, I'll accept it because it's a really great answer. Yes, not a join query. Join query will be automatically fired. Absolutely correct. So guys, good going, those who are answering this. So what will be the JPQL? Can I say select C from course C? Of course not. I've got a student here. So here, select S from student S. This part is clear. This is like select star from students. Where now, no join, nothing required. Let your object model, domain model drive the database. So start from S. Already 2-3 people told me correctly, which is so cool, which is so good. Now from student, can you go to course? Yes or no? Or all the relationships are off? Of course you can go to. So are you going to think in a foreign key column name or are you going to think in a property name? Of course, property. What is the name of the property? Something like that chosen course. Okay. And now you have reached the, see the beautiful navigation, object to object navigation. Okay. So you have reached the course and you remember course extends from the base entity. which is getting the value of ID. That ID is the property name and the column name is equal to colon ID. Are you getting it? So what will be the query? It will internally use that foreign key column and give you the whole thing. This is what the first answer I got, and itself is a correct answer. Getting the thing or not? Understanding? So after that, what remains is very easy. So just use the, what was that? Session.create query, JPQL, student.class, set parameter to ID. And will you use get single result or will you use get result list? I'll write it for you. Get result list or get single result? Of course, get result list. So it will be list of student. See, I keep writing a lot of things in sequence. I hope by now you have realized the worth of it. So suppose a list, and here it will be, this is fine, set parameter to course ID. So for example, if I say the first name is ID, and here whatever, suppose user gives me the course ID in this manner, and this will be your get result list. So don't at all think that if you change from bidirectional to unidirectional, you will have problems in JPQL. Never. Okay, they are polymorphic queries, but will you be able to enjoy cascading when you go from bidirectional to unidirectional? Yes or no? That answer is no. So I think I have given you sufficient background. Of course, you can go deeper and ask any of us anytime in project phase and all, wherever you get stuck. So how will you configure it? Refer above. That was the next question. How will you configure the unidirectional relationship? Already answered. Getting thing or feeling lost right in the morning? Answer it frankly. Because if you say feeling lost, I'll immediately ask you where you are lost and I can repeat that point. But at the end of the revision, if you ask me to repeat, you know it is difficult for me. Getting it? Great. And anyway, I'm saying we are going to spend a good amount of lab time. First lab time is yours in revision. Later, I will try to complete the admin part at least. We will try to complete. And there I'm going to force you a unidirectional one. So example would be there. Okay. Next one. Read this. See, I have shown you part of it. I mean, some things I have to ask you just verbally or whatever, so that you will be 100% ready for your project database to Pojo design. Anyway, answer this question. Read it carefully and answer it. Okay, so sorry, don't answer it. Let me ask you a different question. Everyone has gone through, has everyone done the revision of a relationship between student and address? Because if you are not done the revision, you will not understand a word. Revised or not revised? You have. So what is the current this thing association? Is it a unidirectional or bidirectional? The one we had done on Saturday? It was a bidirectional. Come on, it was a unidirectional. Okay. Now I'm asking you a question to check your clarity. Suppose I change my mind and I say from student I should be able to access the address, and from address I should be able to access the student. What will you call it now? Unidirectional or bidirectional? Bidirectional. So now tell me, I'm giving you the help. You just help me with annotations. So here in student Pojo, guys, these sequences are really valuable. I'm trying to explain a lot of things in student Pojo and in address Pojo. By the way, both are entities. We have not entered the value types here. So in student Pojo, tell me, you have other members such as name and email and of course the course. In addition to that, which property will you add in student to make it this address property? Good going, guys. Correct? And here in address Pojo, it will have its own properties, city, country, zip code, phone number, whatever, plus which will be the additional property. We have already added a student. 100% clear so far? Yes or no? I've just added the properties. And of course, when you add the property, what is the next thing you're going to add? Getters, setters. So that goes without saying. Now tell me here in a unit, in a bidirectional association, you have always the inverse side and the owning side. So suppose I say the owning side is the address side, or I'll rephrase. I want the foreign key column to appear in the address side. So which is the owning side and which is the inverse side then? Yes, Aniket, you are right. So here, of course, but I'm talking about owning side. So here address is the owning side. So let us start configuring the address side. So this is address pojo, owning side, having having what? Foreign key referencing to student's primary key. Are we good so far? So tell me the annotation here. What will be the annotation? I told you one student has one address. So give me the annotation fast. No. That is the secondary one. First one, primary one, basic one. I mean, mandatory one. @ 121. Okay. But here, everyone knows the name of the join column will be Hibernate decided. So guys, this is mandatory. So answer that first. And the optional and recommended one are, yes guys, join column. And then you can supply the name. And suppose I say I like the name as, name is equal to, let's say, student ID. It does not have to match with the this thing at all, name of the primary column. This is your foreign key column you're configuring. And if you want that not null constraint, you can say null label is equal to false. Understood me completely about the owning side? Okay, but now in a case of bidirectional one, already somebody responded. I have to configure this side also. Okay, so tell me, what will be the annotation on the top of it? First, give me the mandate. Okay, anyway, you give me whatever you like. You understand? So from student, I want to access very right @ 121, completely mandatory. But now if you don't give mapped by, there won't be any additional third table. But you know what Hibernate does? It adds the foreign key column in student, which references the address ID, which is so totally unnecessary. You're happy with one side, address having student ID, why duplicate it? So how to tell Hibernate that this is the inverse side referring to the owning side? What is that property? 100% right, mapped by. Anyone wants to tell me what will be the value of the mapped by? Student, name of the property as it appears in the owning side. Okay. But now, since I have a bidirectional, can I enjoy the cascading? That is, if I have a student having address and if I save the student, I want student record and address record inserted. Yes. So by default, what is the value? Cascade. What is the value of cascade type? None. So here, what is the opposite of none? All. So cascade type all. And do you want the address as an orphan record without the student? Don't. We don't. So how do I tell Hibernate about it? Yes, please. Which property? Guys, it is all the same. It's just a revision. Exactly. So what is the value of orphan removal by default? For orphan removal false. So let us make it true. If I make a mess since while talking, please correct me. Orphan removal true. Isn't it the same? Okay. So this is how you would have configured a bidirectional association between student and address in the simplest manner. Clear or not clear? And story is not over. And where would be your helper methods? Such as I want to assign the address, add address, remove address. Where will you add these methods? Of course, in the student. In address, you won't address, add address. Come on. So here, plus can add helpers. Which helpers I'm talking about? See, it is bidirectional. So in student, you assign address, and to address, you assign student. So something like add address and remove address. Okay. So this is a ditto copy of what we discussed in one-to-many bidirectional. Getting it or not? Understanding it or not? Save the sequence or name it a JPA mapping sequence or something, because I'm talking about so many options here. Whatever fits your project, pick it up. Okay, clear? Understanding this? Okay. So now let me ask you, are there any disadvantages of such a bidirectional association? Answers, I'm giving you the answer yes. So let me ask you a question. Okay. So here is the question. I'll write some code. So you answer that, this thing. Suppose I add a JPQL. Or okay, forget JPQL. I mean, JPQL I could have written, but I just want to make it, faster. Suppose I say student S in a whatever DAO layer. Imagine get current session, transaction, everything is done. So here if I say session.get, and what we have is student.class and the student ID, some student ID. And here the commit and all that. So the question being asked is, the question for you is, when you write this, the select query will be fired. That goes without saying. On. Now the question is, which tables? Student, address, both or neither? That's the million-dollar question. Yes, it's such a, who said that, eager and all? Very good answer, Kunal. So, because one-to-one, the default fetching policy of one-to-one association is what? Eager or lazy? It's eager. Can you disable it? See, you'll say, okay, eager, fine. I'll change the mind of Hibernate. Unfortunately, you remember this thing? What is that called? Fetch and fetch type dot lazy. Hibernate ignores you. Unfortunately. Why? I have to yet find a good reason behind. So I don't know why it ignores our command. If you find, or okay, I can see this. With student, it says that okay, it is so tightly coupled with address lifted. But that's not a very good reason. But the point is, it will 100%. The answer is both. And put it in the, I'm putting it even after making the fetch type lazy. Understanding the point? Do not trust a word of what I'm saying. Try it out. It just takes you a minute. I've already given you the other side. Just add one side and try it out. So, if your project requirement says that anytime you are lifting student, I mean, I'm talking about student address, you want to lift the address, then this is your solution. This is your go-to solution. But if you say, every time I want to lift, I'm lifting a student, I don't want to address. I'll tell you the reason. Address may have a deeper object graph. Address has a phone number, or address has further things, residence address, office address, hostel address, etc. So I don't want to lift up. Is there any solution? Select query will be fired on both or neither. So is there any solution to only lift, my horrible English, to lift only the student details? Yes, please. Is there any solution to only lift the student details and address only when required? Yes, Diksha, you're right about it. So tell me, then answer the next question. Answer is yes. How? Of course it is yes. Just make it unidirectional. Answer is, yeah, where are this? Is there any solution? Answer is yes. Simply, how? Simply remove, or okay, make it unidirectional. So when I say unidirectional, from what to what? Student to address or address to student? S to A or A to S? Of course, address to student. If you make it unidirectional, student to address, you lost it. Again, you are having the same problem. So here, make it address to student. Are you understanding it after having the complete revision or statements done? Yes or no? Understood the reason? So now, the moment I say convert bidirectional to unidirectional, which side will be? Okay, I'll ask you. So this side, same. But here in student Pojo, Will you keep any of it, or will all of it will gone? Remove the whole thing. So there is no complication, there is no helper, nothing. Code reduces drastically. Okay. So this is your next, this is my next statement. So here, is there any solution? Answer is yes. So only maintain this. So remove address property. Look, remove address property from student. Okay. And only in address purge, this remains unchanged. Are we good so far? Okay. Now tell me, if I write it this way, what will be the columns of the students? I'll write it down. Which columns will be created in students table? Yes, please. Suppose I've got city, state, country as the additional property. So of course, that goes without saying. So of course, you'll have city, state, country, zip code. So I'm not asking about that, obviously. But you tell me, additional to this, yes. So it will have its own primary key. Okay, ID. So what will be the constant on this? Primary key. Plus it will have a student ID, which will have which constraint? Foreign key. Everyone with me? All of you are understanding what I'm saying? Okay. So now the final optimization. Is there any way to remove double indexing? I don't want these two indexes, database indexes I'm talking about. Can I share the primary key of the address with the student? Answer is yes, and that's your maps ID. So the disadvantage is the address table has to maintain. This is all database concept, hardly a Java concept. Its own primary key, leading to more indexing, lesser performant. So the solution comes in form of, what is the solution? Shared primary key. So the last part now. So this is what we had written. So tell me, take a look at it. I've just copied it from our student class. I'm so sorry, address class. So here, one-to-one mandatory. Optional but recommended. So this becomes your now the name of the column, not null constraint. And the moment you say maps ID, now the same question. Which columns? Yes, please. So after adding this, can you tell me which columns will be created in students table? I've given you this. You add, subtract, whatever. Change or no change? Answer is of course change. So this is no change. Everyone knows that. Will there be any ID separate column? No. The student ID itself will be acting as a primary key and a foreign key. That is, here itself we are using the student ID, which is having the same value of the student ID, and that itself will reference to the primary. I mean, it will become a shared primary key completely. So isn't this optimized? Guys, there are 10 different solutions, 10 different ways the associations works in JPA, but I'm trying to give you the most optimized ones. Understood completely so far? All the discussion which I did for almost an hour plus. Yes or no? Okay, next one. Now go a little faster. As I said, always I spend too much time in the revision, looks like. Yes, please. Give me the answers. True, not true or false. Lazy or eager. Yes, please. Start. Give me LE types. 4 answers I want. Yes, absolutely correct. So one-to-one, whether you like it or not, it is going to be eager, cannot be changed. One-to-many, lazy, Many to one, any to one is always fetch type eager, and many to many, which we will start in couple of minutes, is lazy. Are we all good here? And please make a mention somewhere, cannot be changed, which I already, I have not shown you, but that is your job. You try it out. Is the statement clear? So now I have given you some code snippet and you tell me what will happen. So I'll explain. I have not written the full code, but I think you will understand. So now let me say this. Otherwise, you will not know what I'm talking about. So here you have a bidirectional association between, have I? Yeah, I've got a bidirectional relationship between course and a student, and it is one-to-many bidirectional. Okay, so this is the input. I said, get me the course details with a particular course. Commit. After committing, I'm printing course details and I'm printing the student details. So take a minute and answer. What will you get? What will happen in this piece of code? J2E exam paper could be all scenario based. So like, and otherwise also you need to know. Yes, please. You take your time and tell me what will happen in this code below. Yeah, don't give me half-cooked answers, half-the-answers. You are very right. Which exception makes you a better, what you say, better candidate? Of course, an exception. Which exception? You know, we spent so much time on that other day. No idea, no clue. Of course, lazy. Why there is a question mark common after spending so much time? Of course, lazy initialization exception. Will you get lazy initialization exception on this line number 1 or line number 2 or both or whatever I mean? Of course, line number 2. So here you will get, come on, I was expecting a quick and immediate answer. Looks like this part you never reached for revision. I don't know. org.hibernate.lazy initialization exception. Okay. So now tell me, if I fire this query, which details are lifted from the database? Course details, student details, both or neither? You told me just now one-to-many is lazy. So of course, course details. I've taken all of it on Saturday. So here it will lift only course details. So in the course Pojo, if you see the student's property, that collection-based property, list-based property, what is sitting there? The real data, actual data fetched from database, or its substitutor proxy? Real data or proxy? Proxy. And if you try to access proxy data, it is called as uninitialized proxy. Uninitialized proxy means unfetched data from the database. So if you try to access unfetched data from the database in a detached manner outside the session context, can you tell me where the session got closed, where the session context was over, where the session scope was over? Of uncommit. So here you are trying to access unfetched data from the database in a detached manner, in the session, outside the session manner, 100% container. Container means Hibernate cannot load the data. And you have a proxy. Proxies, think of like a shell, empty shell with no substance inside. So there's no data. It's a wrapper. It's a proxy pattern. Later in Spring AOP, I'll discuss it in more detail. So all you'll get is a lazy initialization exception. So are there any solutions or are we doomed? Did we discuss any solution? Of course, there are solutions. So tell me the solution, which is the first solution we talked about. So the first solution was change the fetch type. Wait a sec. Here, the solution exists. Oh, the solution exists in here. So this is your whatever course Pojo. So can I add a fetch type here? Answer is yes. Fetch is equal to the name of the enum itself is fetch type, and fetch type enum has two values, eager and lazy. So what should I change it to? Eager or lazy? Getting this? So once you do that, and if you run the same code, what will you get? Will you be able to see the course details, student details, both or neither? Answer is both. So no observation, no exception, both details will be lifted from database. So tell me, is it a recommended solution or not a recommended solution? 100% not recommended. Are you getting it? Okay. So it's not recommended, definitely. Why? Because anytime you just want to access the course details, guys, you lost the control. Whether you want it or not, whether you like it or not, it is going to lift all 100 or 200 or whatever students detail accordingly. So reason being too much or unnecessary data, large amount. Understanding it completely? So tell me, is there any other solution than this horrible solution? No, no, no. Two queries will be fired is not the problem. Too much of data will be loaded, whether you like it or not. Suppose I give you an example. Suppose I want to find out what are the fees for this Java course. So will I end up getting only course fees, or will I end up getting all those 100 student details also along with every time? Answer is the whole data. Okay. So that is the thing. Yes. Now I'm coming to the second solution. So now again, what is it we are going back to? We are going back to this. So what is the default fetch type? So here fetch type is again lazy. But the whole problem was coming because you are trying to access this unfetched data outside the session. So what is the solution? Simply access. Do I have to access the entire collection or simply access the size of it? So I'll say simply access the size of the collection. Which collection? The student collection. Within the session scope or outside the session scope? Before commit or after commit? Before or after? Within is right, before commit, of course. So within the session scope, that is before commit, that is implying before session closing. Getting the feel? So you just call, you just got the course ID, and then you simply say course.c.getstudents.size. Example makes it better, I hope. Is that what will happen? Yes. So I've written loads of things in the sequence, extremely important to revise. So don't just leave it at this. She keeps writing sequence, I don't care. I mean, it's all for you. So it is a classic way of revising and understanding so much. So this part is the same. These two lines are the same. So if you want to avoid this lazy red exception, what is the code? People ask you, what will you insert here to get rid of lazy red exception? Give me the code, talk in code. I got the codes already, which is very cool. The moment you start talking to me in Java, forget English, Hindi, Marathi. In Java, we understand each other so well. So C dot get students. And what is the name of the method? Size. So if Hibernate has to, okay, look at this, guys. At this point, only the select query on courses table is fired. It doesn't have, it means Hibernate doesn't have a single clue how many students. But the moment you ask for the size, Hibernate has to give up this inherent laziness and has to fire additional. So I told you another day, put a breakpoint and check which query is fired when. Additional select query. This time on which table? Student table or courses table? Of course, students table will be fired. And then since now are we accessing unfetched data or fetched data? Proxy or no proxy? fetch data, indicating no proxy outside the session scope. So no exception will be thrown. Understood me fully? All these are extremely important, popular questions. And like I said, forget about questions. Understanding is so important. So now tell me, this job is done. But in how many queries we are doing this job? In a single query or in two queries? In two queries. Is there any further optimization? Answer is yes. So what is that? I want to see the full data, but in a single query. What is the solution? Join fetch is the solution. So here I'll just, okay, still better. And there's something called as select n+1 issue and all those issues are resolved. Still better solution. The answer is join fetch. If I use only join fetch, which is the join it uses? Inner join or outer join, left outer, right outer, inner join. The default one is inner join. And I've taken the other example, just change it to left outer or whatever, anytime your project needs it. So example makes it better. Okay, so tell me, in this case, will your query change or no change? Of course, change. That is what it is all about. So select this, and here you say, okay, guys, there's a confusion in the beginners between join and join fetch. So your join, if you just use join, it is like your normal join. Normal join means your SQL join. But when you say join fetch, actual query, select query will be fired on the students table to get the data. So here I want that. So join fetch. After that comes what? Property name or the column name. We in Hibernate, you forget about tables, columns, database at all. So C dot students, rest of it is the same. Okay. So now tell me, when this line is executed, how many queries will be fired at this line? So here itself, single join query will be fired. And do you require this to access the size of the students and all that? Absolutely not. So no exception and data retrieved in a single join query. Are we clear? 100%? Okay, 50%. I've reduced it by 50. Are you clear somewhat after the revision, guys? When I do such a detailed revision, see the time, almost like 1.5 hours, close to that we are spending on the revision. And after that, if you are confused, like, then it's like always feeling better, answering any of your questions, hopefully. Okay, you have to try this. Otherwise, like, it is like one-sided if it is a bi-directional relationship between us. It is not like I'm telling you all the things. You also have to pitch in and you have to take care. I mean, you have to do this. So a couple of questions and we are good to go to the today's topic. So now, let me ask you. I don't care whether it is a bidirectional association or a unidirectional. So bidirectional, one-to-many, and the unidirectional, only many-to-one. So here is the question. If you fetch the student details, will it automatically fetch the course details along with? I want to see your answer. Is it yes or no? Answer is yes. And no is a wrong answer, guys. What is the relationship between from student to course? It's many-to-one. 100% yes. Why? Because many-to-one. What is the fetching policy? This is another way of checking this thing is eager. Are you getting me? So if you say fine, along with student, I want to find out what is the course I'm enrolled in. Great, good, all is clear. But if you want, okay, student details means no course details. I'm not caring. I mean, I'll check it later. Is there any way to prevent it? Meaning, that is how to lift only student details without, or you can say excluding without course details. Yes, please. I'm just asking you roundabout, same question. Similar things. I'm telling you it is possible. Can anyone tell me how? No, 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 no. Unidirectional, it is already from this thing. Who is it? Anshamala, it is already from student to course. Wrong answers, both. Join fetch will still give you the course details. Quickly. Guys, it's not a difficult question at all. Not applying the concepts. Okay, I'll give you a clue. Exactly, Ankit is right. Change the fetch type to lazy, and fortunately, Hibernate listens to us. For one-to-one, it doesn't allow, but for many-to-one, it allows. So the last thing, I'll just pick up. Okay, I'm just looking at it because I don't want to. So here, in student Pojo, no, not this. I'm looking for that example. Yeah. So how do I apply the solution? So anyway, answer is how. So simply change the fetch type from what to what? From eager to lazy. And this will be not ignored. This will be obeyed. This will be applied by the Hibernate. So anyone tell me. So we are on the, I told you, it can be a unidirectional from student to this thing. What is it called? Course. Or it can be bidirectional. Solution is the same. So change or no change? No change. Change or no change? Change here. Tell me the change. You just have to add one more property here. What is the property name? Fetch. What is the fetch type you want? Lazy or eager? Lazy. Many-to-one is already eager. So change it to fetch type. Please try it out. And I'm telling you 100% it works. And after that, when you fire the query, which query? Get the student details. The table data will be the select query will be fired on which tables? Student, course, both are neither. Answer is only student. So I've made a lot of statements, new statements, revision statements, and all that. Your job to try it out. But today, like I said, I'll take your lab time at least for an hour, where I give you the confidence of porting your web application with Hibernate and Maven for your CMS case study. At least one part. One part I do, one part you can do later. So now we are entering today's fresh topic, many-to-many association between two entities. So tell me, can one project have multiple students? You must be having project groups already. And I told you other day, in that case, we don't have this. Or I don't know whether you are having. But can one student technically be the part of multiple projects? Answer is yes. You will say student course also I can do the same way. But now we have already built up. So let's not waste time. So now what is it we are building? We are building a many-to-many, let's say bidirectional, unidirectional. Let's go for easy one. Unidirectional association between two entities. Okay, so I have given you the diagram. So tell me, from project you will be able to access student, or from student project? And I mean both are neither. From this arrow, it is from where to where? From project to student. Okay, so I'm asking you, I have spent a lot of time in advanced Hibernate also. So I'm giving you, we will add a project title, the technology, you could be taking like ASP.NET and Angular or whatever. I mean, any this React, Node, or no React and Spring Boot, your choice. And the date of completion. I am keeping it simple. So tell me, in addition to this, will you add any property or no property? Of course, you will have to have the students here. But if you configure it in the list, too many additional queries are fired. So which is the collection type which allows no duplicates? Map is for duplicate keys. I'm talking about collection type. It's a set. So directly, we don't have time to explain. You change from set to list and you will see while deleting it become fires so many unnecessary queries. So the recommended type is set. So you will have set. That is why we spend so much time on the collection type. What will be the type of the set? Student, of course. This is for optimization. I can call it as students, and never ever leave the collection uninitialized, which is the fastest set between hash set, linked hash set, and a tree set. Tell me, which will be the fastest one? I hope you remember. Of course, unsorted, unordered. So typically you have a hash set, right? So, sorry. So we'll start with this and we'll see how to configure. So I'll anyway keep you like, what do you say? This thing, discuss it. So okay, let me see. If you don't add any annotation over this property, which exception Hibernate will throw you? If you don't annotate this, no annotation, for example. If you don't add mapping exception, what else? ORG Hibernate mapping. So tell me, which is the annotation you expect us to add? I'm just preparing you. So when we start writing, there is zero confusion. Which annotation? One-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, or many-to-many? Of course, many-to-many. I told you, after doing one complete association relationship, later things become easier to understand. At the rate many-to-many. So this itself is, of course, it is mandatory. And this itself is sufficient information, for Hibernate to create. You tell me, is it going to create a foreign key, or is it going to create a join table as a link table, as a mapping table? Foreign key or an additional table? Many-to-many, it is going to create a join table. But guys, if you just do this much, who will decide the name of the join table? Programmer or Hibernate? Hibernate decided. Who will decide these things? The name of those it will be like a composite primary key. The two columns would be there. Which two columns would be there in that join table, by the way? Which two columns would be there in that join table? You must have done many-to-many in your DBT. Exactly. The student ID and a project ID. But who will decide the names? Answer is again Hibernate. So if you don't want to do that, you have a additional annotation. And that annotation name is join table. And then you have join column name, inverse join column names, and all of that. So that is what we are doing. Are you understanding what we are going to do? We are discussing the last part of entity to entity relationship. And later, I cannot take whole thing in such manner because we have limited days and we are already 1 day late in starting spring. So the point is, I have additional one. Many-to-many with something called as additional columns. So those things I'll share as a ready-made demos. So why don't we start? Oh, sorry. I'll give you this. I can send you the whole sequence also. Just a second. I'll send you all the sequence so you can pick up those project properties and all that easily. Open your this thing IDE, keep STS open. We are not going to create any web application. We are going to copy that earlier normal core Java Hibernate into a new thing. Where is it? In help. Let me send you the sequence. I've sent you the sequence. Open that sequence so you'll know project title, technology, completion date. You would open that and copy which project we did last. Day 12.1. This is, I think, day 12. That was a web application. I don't want a web application. Right? No, I don't want. Okay, so just give me a second. Let me just check. Do we have student address? Yes. So copy day 12.1 into day 13.1 and make the changes in form.xml. Replace globally 12.1 to 13.1. Okay. So let me do it with you. Okay. And open that form.xml and here globally replace. What is it? 12.1. Replace all. Save. Force update. Right click Maven. Update project. Force update. Okay, then. Tell me when you are done. Done? Okay. So now open SRC main Java, Pojos, and here we are going to create a new Pojo project. Extends from, is it going to be an entity or not an entity? It is going to be entity. So which is that common superclass we have created? Base entity. So extend from base entity. So I don't have to write that ID and all that again. So now let's take a properties. So I want this. Start this. And the date. I'm just thinking. I was thinking, okay, I'll that other I'll give you the writing completion. Okay. And okay, first let us configure it as a basic ordinary Pojo. So create a default constructor, add a don't add that students property that we will add later. Mapping related properties, let us do it. Always do it in steps. It becomes so easy. So add a constructor. I want to launch a new project maybe. Okay, so do this and then generate as usual all getters and setters. Select all. And as a already set tip, in the toString, don't involve any what association properties, but we have not configured them. So this is fine. And if I want to do this is a debugging. So get ID. Okay. So this Pojo also I can send you in case you don't want to type. I want you to do the annotations with me and that additional property with me. So this is what 13.1 SRC. Okay, I've sent you a basic version of project. You tell me when to continue. Let me know when you are done. Done? Okay. So now, which is the additional property? So first give a comment. So what we are doing is many to many. Currently, I'm creating it as a unidirectional. You can change it to bidirectional just using in student have a again this property set of projects. So that will make it bidirectional mapped by and everything. So currently showing you unidirectional and picture says better. So this is what we are configuring. This will help you a lot in Spring Security or something where we will have user and the roles. One user can have multiple roles and one role can have multiple users. So it is a good kind of a preparation. So like I said, again from Gavin Kung's book, instead of list, set, removing the any entities from such a list rather than list, set becomes easier because set is all distinct. So we create a set of students. and never ever keep the collection empty, I mean null. So initialize it to this. Set is better performant than list because of its no duplication policy. Done this much? The moment you add a property, what is the next thing you should immediately add? As in generate getters and setters. Generate that. Done? Add the property and generate the getters and setters. Can I continue? Because now we are going to discuss the annotations. Others. Can we? Okay. So which is the compulsory? If you just keep it as it is, you know you're going to get a mapping exception. So add the annotation many to many. Read. Specifies many valid association with many to many this thing multiplicity. Each many to many association has two sides, owning and non-owning and inverse, and the joint table is specified on the owning side. But here we are not creating a bidirectional. So here, but the moment you have a joint table means the name of the joint table, this becomes the owning side. So mention mandatory. But if you add only this much, who will specify the name of the joint table? Hibernate. And it will be all Hibernate generated. So add the additional optional but recommended one. So which is the annotation to specify the name of the joint table? The name of the annotation itself is joint table. See this, specifies the mapping of the association. It is applied to the owning side of the association. A joint table is typically used in mapping the many to many. Okay, unidirectional one to many will never create. It's very, what do you say, less performant. So here you have a joint table. Reached here? Understanding and reaching. Keep responding, guys, so I can take you further. Now here you have a name. So here, let's say this, I'll say it as project students. You can add any name. Typically, you know, we add it as a link table name. So project student, projects students, because it is all multiplicity. And now, okay, so what will be the okay, which table, when I run the test Hibernate, which table will be created? As usual, I've forgotten add entity at table, we'll add it. Just remind me before I go ahead. So one additional table project student will be created. And anyone wants to tell me what will be the columns added? I think you told me, and let me not repeat, student ID and a project ID. But if you don't specify the names, the foreign key column names, who will decide the foreign key column names? As usual, Hibernate. So now go further. Simply say join and what do you say, control space. So here the foreign key column of the join table, which references the primary table of the owning side. So here join columns. Here the annotation itself is, you remember the join column annotation? I'm going slow so that nobody feels like confused. And here I'll say, sorry, name is equal to. Now, which is the, actually you'll say where you have created a bidirectional. But guys, there is an association between project and project student. Okay. So here, the wherever the mapping appears is called as owning side. So in short, project is the owning side, student is the inverse side. You don't have mapped by because we are not going to add, but if required, you can add. So here, in short, I can give it as a project ID to indicate that this is owning side. And reached here so far. So this is the, all this you can read from the pop-up help in the JPA annotations. And I want to also configure the inverse join column name. So just say inverse. So there is a not inverse foreign key, inverse join columns. Okay, I'll just put it on different lines so it will be visible. And now there's no @inverse join column. The annotation is still join column. I'll send you that in a minute if you need. And here Anyone wants to tell me what will be the name here? Which is the inverse side? Student. So give a suitable name which you will understand all your database. This thing, student ID. So let me send you this. In case you did not manage. And say after that Control-Shift-O so that all these imports and all will be fixed. In the meantime, before I forget, let me give the mandatory annotations @table name projects table, and here it's giving a project title. This can have a long length, you know, a long title. Sorry, maybe 100. You decide. I mean, and I'll keep the project title unique. Okay, and here, okay. Sorry, so name is also, I want to change the name. I'll send you this whole thing in a minute. These are already done things, so I hope nobody has a confusion in that. Length, again, you can say the technology Spring Boot, React, Angular, .NET, whatever. So the project technology is not unique, of course. Name, I just want, oh, name technology is also good. And here, I'll just change the name. All these are basic one. First 28 days, we already knew about this. Wait for something called as Spring Data JPA in Spring Boot, and you will see automatically it will map the project, property names to database style name. Till then, you have a lot of code. So are we done here? So here it is length. You tell me if I forget something. Identity @table. This is fine. This is fine. And many-to-many join table is the main one here. Let me send you. Have I added, generated all the getters and setters? Yes. So let me send you the created this project Pojo. So which is this relationship? Many-to-many, unidirectional, from project to student. So here you can definitely add your helpers. So add student, remove student. So I will do it this. So only answer one question. If you, okay, instead of talking about it, they are generally required, essential in bidirectional, but since I talked about it, I'll ask you. So anyone wants to tell me, if I want to add the student, how will I do this? I want to add a new student to my project group. How do I do this? Which is the property students dot add and the O. Okay, student S. But there is no reverse link to establish. So this is sufficient. Because from student, currently we are not navigating to project. Anytime you add it, you will have a reverse relationship also. And similarly, you can add a remove student. And here, set has a method remove. I just added these two after I shared the code with you. So sending you this code. Following or not following? Understanding it? It's a unidirectional association, so easy to map. There is no other side where I have mapped by, whether I have the, reverse linking, nothing, simpler. Okay. So now let me ask you a core Java question. I hope you will answer me correctly. If you want to add anytime, see this line. If you want to add anytime the data means reference, into a hash set, is there any contract to be followed on the elements of the hash set or no contract? Quickly answer. So much time we have spent on this. Yes. What is it? Yes, there has to be a contract. Contract between what? I've told you guys, you can't just say yes, you have to tell me contract between which two methods. Correct overriding of equals and hash code. So which is the mandatory part? Don't say two contracts. It's a wrong way of saying. Okay, so what is the mandatory part of the contract? Equal objects must produce equal hash code. So if I do only that much, 100% your hashing algorithm works fine. We spent a day, I guess, day or more, I don't remember. So huge time. But if you do that, will you get lesser hash collisions or whether you will get a larger number of hash collisions? Larger number, because in that one bucket, entire, I mean, you will get larger. So we don't want it. So which is the optional but recommended part of the contract? Unequal objects, let them produce same hash code or different hash code. Different hash code. Everyone understands it? So now tell me, what is the type of the set here? What is the generic type of the set here? In our discussion, all of this was very much required, I told you. No. Generic type, I guess, not the data type, student, yes. So which class has to obey, fulfill the contract? Project class or student class or both or neither? Of course, a student class has to obey the contract. So remember all these things. These are extremely important things. So open your student and what is it you'll have to add here? Correct. Working. Correct. And efficient. Let's add both. Efficient working of hashing algorithm in a hash set. Override hash code and equals. Both parts. Understood the comment? And since we have talked about it so much, here is not the time to waste or invest in writing generate. So how do you generate it? Source. Where is that? Generate hash code and equals. And now there are certain again tips coming from your Gavin King. So Gavin King suggests check if your student has some unique key. So tell me, is our student class having anything unique key? Yes or no? Answer is yes. And which one? Email. If there is no such unique key, then you always have an ID which is inherited, which is your unique ID. But as much as possible, go for natural IDs. Natural IDs means your unique keys. So you can say deselect all and leave on the email. So we will say, or rather you know that we will say two students are same if and only if their email ID is same or otherwise different. So base it out of email. It says that super class doesn't implement, but currently we don't require. I just reading the warning. So you say okay to that and it will generate your, okay, my comment got displaced. So this is your, later you can revise it in the lab and all. So you can see it is based on email and it is calling, unless until it is, null, it is calling the email hash code, and string class has already overridden this, and the testing equality is also done on the email. So we have got all the things done. That is, project has students, and we are going to check whether whatever we are saying is working at all. But before that, a small thing. Open your Hibernate configuration XML and tell me, do you need to add any entry or no entry? I mean, no new entry. Of course, you have to add a new entry. Which entry? Project is an entity. Soon I'm going to start with value types. But your project is an entity. So please add, before we forget, project. Okay. So have we done here? Yes. And I was wondering why there's sometimes, XML reloading takes huge amount of time. Now, don't run anything else. I'm just going to show you the table creation. Actual testing, that is project creation and all, we'll do it in the labs. So open the tester, please. And you have a test Hibernate, I hope, and run this. I mean, I will run it first because, I could have messed up something. Yeah, so looks good. So check. Which table? Actually, oh, in my case, I dropped the whole database. So you run it, guys. Sorry. I had dropped the whole this because I was playing with things and, I was deciding which demos to show and all that. Anyway, you open, you run it, and you tell me which table or tables got generated. Only project table got generated. Come on. Say show tables. Tell me how many tables got generated here. Oh, sorry. There will be two tables which got generated. One is the projects table and other one is project student. Don't worry about where my topics tutorial went off. I just dropped the database. Don't worry, in the break or something, I'll put it this. So you tell me, two tables got generated. Great. And describe it and just check. Describe projects table. It's all empty. So check whether it is looking okay. ID, completion date, project title, project technology. Looks good. And the other one is the one which is really of interest. This is your link table. And look at it and tell me, how many columns are we having here? 2 columns. Yes, and it is nothing but referencing. It's a project ID, student ID. And how did we control this? Using the annotation. Which annotation we used? On the top of many to many, @ join table. What are the attributes of the join table we added? Name. This is what I could get the name. And then we use the properties join columns with @ join column. And then we set the owning side. Wherever you have a mapping becomes owning side. So that is a project ID. And then there was a property inverse join columns where I gave the join column name as student ID. And this is the result. So tell me, is the many-to-many annotation, join table annotation, and its properties, name, join columns, and inverse join columns, all clear after seeing the table? Okay, so we'll fill up the values and do writing testers and DAOs and all later. Because I see I have to keep track of time as well, unfortunately. So this completes all different associations between two entities. And like I said, entities have standalone existence. I mean, they have their own table, they have their own IDs, and they can exist. You can, let's say this, can I launch a project? Can I create a record in the projects table without linking it to students? It's a Boolean question, yes or no? Answer is yes. So when I give you time or when we have time, I'm going to ask you to write launch new project. So project team, you must be having a project team. So project team or you yourself decide. So they will decide the project type, whatever, the project title, the technologies you are going to use, the probable date, most likely date of completion, etc. And a record gets created. Now answer the next question. Can you create a student record in the students table without linking it to project? It's a Boolean question, yes or no? Could you create a student record in the students table without linking it to project? Yes or no? 100% yes. Guys, I have dropped my database, but you have a database. You must be having a student record. Okay. So now, can student exist without a project? Yes. Can project instance, project record be created without the associated student? Yes. So that is what they have, independent existence. But when I say that, okay, add a what is it called? Add a student to project, then listen to this. I'll speak slowly here. We created a project means one record got inserted in the project table. We already have students, so students record are created in the students table. Everyone with me? Understanding what I'm saying? Okay. So now I'm saying we are going to write all this, but in the lab. So I will ask user project title, which project title, and which student ID or student email. So what are the two inputs we'll take from user? Which project group, which project title, and which student email. And then if the project title and the student email are all valid, what should happen? What should happen is the question. So your choices are a new entry gets created in the projects table, option 1. New entry gets created in the students table, option 3. Option 2. Option 3, a new entry gets created in the link table. All of above, none of above, or whatever. Lost me? Option 3 is a correct option. Because guys, you already have a students table entry record. You already have a project table. You're just going to add not you, Hibernate. You just will add a method. You'll just call a method add student and whole thing will be done by Hibernate. Similarly, if a particular student wants to drop out from a project, I don't want a Spring Boot project. I want to go to ASP.NET team or whatever I mean. So we will be writing, remove the student from a particular project. And will it affect what is it called? Students table? No. Will it affect projects table? No. But that linking, that entry in the link table, will it be there or will it be gone? Of course, it will be gone. Are you understanding? I hope you have a pretty good idea about many to many. So that is what we will explore in the lab session with 1 or 2 objectives: add project, add student, etc. Okay. So coming back to the point, whatever we have discussed so far were standalone entities. But is that it in Hibernate? Answer is no. There is another important part of the POJO, or I'll say this, POJO can be either configured as entities, which is what we did for so many days. But can POJO be also configured as something called as a value type? So what is value type in a minute? Answer is very much yes. So example makes it easier. We're going to configure this and then maybe take a break. Yes. So when I say student has an Aadhaar card, you tell me, what is student type, entity or non-entity? We already have a student. So is it an entity or non-entity? It is an entity. But can Aadhaar card really exist without the owning entity, without the owning person? Answer is no. So which kind of relationship are we talking about, guys? Aggregation. Of course, it is a hazard. You know that. Is it a aggregation or is it a stronger form of coupling composition? Everyone understanding? I had told you those days, long time back when we were doing core Java and kind of struggling. So the point is, though all those things are super important in Hibernate, so that is where we are today. So coming back to the point, anyone remembers how did we apply composition in core Java? Easily. Easily means, okay, forget easily difficult, inner class. But inner class, whatever said and done, is a complexity. So can we add, listen to the statement I'm making. So let me say this, let me phrase. So can I show the composition, tight coupling, strong coupling between student and Aadhaar card without taking help of the inner class? Answer is yes. And that answer is one single annotation. Okay. So what we are going to configure is nothing but a dependent type. So the Aadhaar card is totally dependent for its existence on student. In simple English, do you want to allow the third party code, as in tester code, to directly create the Aadhaar card instance or within an enclosing entity? Student class instance. You understand it? So how do I say it in database? In database, Aadhaar card does not have a separate existence. It is dependent on this. So read this. slowly. Okay, data members. So by the way, we are going to create an Aadhaar card. Okay, will achieve this, will be achieved using not this thing, not what is it called, inner class, will be achieved using some annotation. That annotation is embeddable. So it will be, so Aadhaar card, let me say this in writing, let me put this in writing. So Aadhaar card, will it be a inner class of a student or will it be a regular outer class? It will be a regular outer class. So it will be easy for you to understand. And which members, I've just written some members. So Aadhaar card has a number, when it was created, where it was created, types, and read this twice. So it's a quite long statement. So is Aadhaar card going to be configured as entity or a dependent embeddable value type? E or V? E for entity, V for value type. It's a value type. So I'll show you the diagram and all after the break. Looking at time, I just want to get the things done first. So it will be definitely a value type and one annotation will do the job. So in 2 minutes, literally, let us create this class and check it out. So just copy this. That is the reason I gave you this. So come to your ID and here, just create a under Pojos. It is a Pojo, but it won't have which, okay, let me ask you, sorry, I forgot that. Which annotations you will never add in the value type? It's a popular question. Which annotation you will not have at entity? Only at entity. Will it have its own primary key or will it reference the primary key of your student? Of course, it will reference the primary key of the student. So the answer is no at entity, no at ID. So in short, see, I'm just getting the answers from you. Will you say value type extending from base entity? Is it an entity or a value? Value. So don't say that. You know, we get used to so many things. So by mistake, we do this. So keep it clear. It is not going to be an entity. So let's do it faster and take a break fast. So, you know, it rhymed. So Pojos class and create it as a Aadhaar card. There's zero need. Nobody creates it in Hibernate and all as inner class is too complex. This is much easier. And will you call it as a extends from base entity? Not a base, not an entity at all. So it is a value type Pojo. I mean, it's a Pojo of a type value type. And it is also called as some component. So called as component in Hibernate terms, Hibernate jargon. Jargon means technical terms. Okay, so let's try adding those properties. So it's a card number, all string. It's going to be unique. Okay, I'll mention it writing. Cannot have, cannot add entity and add ID annotations. Okay, so let's say I'll send you this card this in a minute. Private creation date. So local date. And the location where it was created. Okay. Here, just let us write it as an ordinary Pojo. Last thing we will do is apply annotations. Okay. So this, whether it is an entity or value type, add the default constructor. Let us add the all args constructor. Later you will see literally the annotations at the rate no args constructor, at the rate all args constructor types. Okay. And generate as usual all getters and setters. Select all. Okay. And for debugging, add the what is it called, toString. Okay, so this is your basic Pojo. I've not done anything here. Let me send you the basic Pojo so that we can apply the annotations together. This is a value type. This is a non-entity basically. Cannot have the standalone existence. Nobody should be able to create the Aadhaar card instance without using student. All that. Tell me, whenever you are done, we'll apply the annotations. Done with the code? Good. So now, how to tell Hibernate that whatever follows, the contents are going to be embedded in the owning entity. One annotation, guys. I mean, can you just appreciate the power of JPA? And these are all JPA annotations. Take the cursor over this and tells you so nicely. Specifies a class whose instances are stored as the intrinsic means inherent part of the owning entity and shares the identity of the entity. And each of the read further, each of the persistent properties or the fields of the embedded object. Which is the embedded object, guys? Student or Aadhaar card? S or A? Which is the embedded object? Is it a student or is it an address Aadhaar card? Of course, Aadhaar card. So that I lost it. So because it tells you so clearly, it is mapped to the database table of the entity. Okay. So I have a question. Let's see whether you can answer. After running the test Hibernate in 2 minutes, do you expect to see a separate table for Aadhaar card? It's a Boolean question, yes or no. Answer is no. But where, okay, but see this, guys. Rest of the annotations are the same. I'm going to add column, add whatever other annotations. So what do you think? These columns, I mean, properties will be mapped to columns. Where they will be added? In the student. Absolutely right, Swapnil. So you will see an alter table. That alteration your Hibernate can do. Dropping the column is beyond it. So alter table will be fired, and which will be additional columns added in the student table. Everyone knows the answer. Card number, creation date, and location. Okay, so just annotate it properly. So the column names will be fine. So card number has to be unique, right? So I'll give the name also. This part you can do on your own. And all this is super basic of Hibernate. Embeddable is the thing you'll watch out for. And here I have got a, oh, it's a string, right? So you can have a length. Name here, creation date, right? And the location is good. So I'll just reduce the length of it. This part is like same. Okay. So let us see whether we are done with it. Are we ready to test? So embeddable, Aadhaar card, no ID, no entity. I lost that. Okay, I have. So cannot add this. Notations. Right? And this is at embeddable. Rest of the annotations can come as it is. Done, guys? Spelling wrong? Oh, yeah. Creation date. Okay, now. So now just give me a second here. I'm going to run the test Hibernate. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Let me ask you. Important, not important, but yes, understanding wise. What should be what I should add here? What should be added here? Of course, nothing. It is not an entity, and this is only the mapping entries will appear for entities. It does not have a separate existence. The contents are going to be embedded. It is an embedded object. So you're absolutely right in saying nothing. So if you just run this, open the console, just check the console. Oh, why did not work? What did I run? It should have this thing altered the table. Something went wrong. You check it. Guys, describe students table. Oh, I know what I forgot. Does anyone want to tell me what I forgot? Of course, there's no alter table. I forgot in a hurry 10, 12. So that puts a pressure. Yes, please. Yeah. So guys, is there currently any link between student and a Aadhaar card? Quickly, yes or no? No link. So where will be the link from Aadhaar card to student, S to A or A to S? Of course, student to Aadhaar card. Okay. And in a hurry, totally I forgot. So please add the next one, add a property. So what is it we are developing? It will be always unidirectional. From embedded object, you cannot go to the entity. It is always entity to value type. Looking at time, I'll show you one-to-one. One student, of course, can have one Aadhaar card. Others, one-to-many between entity and value after the break. So here, add this quickly. Private, what was that? Aadhaar card. And I was wondering why it is not coming. So here, now this is sufficient. Of course, getters and setters. Just please generate your getters and setters. Without that, Hibernate cannot achieve the persistence. And this is actually sufficient. But for understanding, if you want to tell, not Hibernate's understanding, for your understanding, if you want to be specific that these are the embedded things. Okay, so here, see this. If it was one-to-one, we had given @1-to-1, @1-to-many. So here, there is an optional annotation embedded. So read this. Specifies a persistent field or a property of an entity whose value is an instance of the embeddable class. But the beauty is this optional or required? Optional, added only for understanding purpose. So that you get the whole link correctly. That which is embeddable? Aadhaar card. Embedded into owning entity. And that owning entity is nothing but a student entity. Okay, this I had forgotten. Please understand, even if you don't add it, it is fine. But after a while, your project is going to look so complex. So it is better to add and to keep track of what is getting embedded where and all that. So I would recommend it still. And let's see the console now. Yeah, I was waiting for this. So guys, see this alter table. And anyway, you can look at it later. I just wanted to show this and tell me, is your table altered really? 100% has to be. So these were the basic details. This is the foreign key thanks to many-to-one association. And these are the embedded details right in the table of your student so that Aadhaar card cannot be accessed independently without the owning instance. Working fine, guys? Got the table altered? Of course, those values, if you say select start, those values will be null. So after the break, we'll link the Aadhaar card details to the existing student and continue forward. All clear? So I'll make a zip of total project. We did many-to-many and this, and we'll stop immediately. I'll send you this right away in case you want to sync up in the break. Updated sequence also. Okay, I'll share the updated sequence also. Kunal. Just a second. First, I'll send you the project. But it will keep getting updated over the day. You know that. Let me save the sequence. I'll send you this also. Today is day 13. Oh, guys, I hope you're not gone off by mistake. I'm sorry for stretching it. People are still there. 218 is a good number. Today, after finishing this, we are entering spring. We have to, otherwise, there will be like too much of rush. And the most important topic is, spring and Hibernate. So coming back to the point, please follow this because there are going to be additional jars to be downloaded. And you all know how long it takes you to download the jars. So the steps are very familiar. Create a simple Maven project I'm giving you the pom.xml. So please keep it ready in the break. So after finishing this value types thing, we are going to enter into the Spring. So we will create today the first project in Spring. So wait a second. Java E help. Oh, I have given you that help. Thank God for that. But there are certain changes. So give me a second. I will send you this in Spring help. 2 minutes. Just I'll check whether I have upgraded the changes. I was totally forgotten. 5.4.18 is the version. This looks fine. And this is going to be later going to converge to Spring and Hibernate integration. So this looks okay to me. Okay, I'll send you something. I'm sending you a version here. Take this and we'll in 2 minutes, you will start downloading. I'm not at all saying you stick around. You start downloading the moment I give you this. I'll give you the steps in this. I had shared with you this pom.xml, but I realized that in that pom.xml, the Hibernate jar is 5.4.30. So again, your lot of time will be wasted. So 2 seconds. Maven based. Well, just download this and follow the instruction. You tell me when the latest pom.xml is downloaded. So download it, open it in VS Code and keep it ready. It's going to take you a lot of time in downloading the jar. So we are making use of this break. We're going to continue with Hibernate, but I just want to keep this downloaded part ready. So just follow the instructions. Let me know when you got that pom.
मैम VS Code में ओपन करना है?
pom.xml कहाँ पे ओपन करते हो? नहीं तो XML फाइल कहाँ पे ओपन होती है? VS Code is one of the best ones.
Okay.
I just want you to open in any text editor. Forget VS Code. You open it in anything. I just want that pom.xml opened. Okay? Okay. So now follow the instructions, same instructions, Control-Shift-W. Here, choose Maven project. Are we all ready? Can I continue? It's a new, this thing. So Maven project, create a simple project, skip archetype selection. Next, developers.com maybe. And I'm giving it as day 13 because I have to maintain Spring. And later it will have Hibernate also. Anyway, right now I'll not just mention the Spring Java SE. So it is going to be a core Java project with Spring. Tomorrow I'll take you to Spring MVC. I mean, over time, I'm not promising tomorrow. Give a project name same as the artifact ID. The whole idea is to keep the jars downloaded. So go to a good network speed or whatever stable connection and do that. And what it is going to be, it is going to be a Spring project, Spring Maven project with what? Not web Java, Java SE. So I think you are done. I mean, you know all this. So give some group ID, give some artifact ID, packaging. This is not a web application. Spring Web MVC tomorrow or day after sometime. And this, done this much. Can I go to the next screen? Next is finish. Okay, so finish it and check here. So what is it we said? Day 13 Spring Java SE and open that. Of course, it is still ancient, so we'll fix it. Okay, so now what entries you are going to copy from where? Recently, I have given you just now you have downloaded pom.xml. So after description, you will see the properties. This is going to later lead us to Spring Hibernate integration of two powerful technologies. So start copying from line number 10 till the end of the dependency stack and put it here. Just give me a second. Don't say save. Give me a to this. I think I'm done it correctly. So this is Maven War. Later, this is itself I'm going to use in web project also. Spring Java, I see Hibernate. Okay, so what you do is, anyway, let me not waste your time at all. Already I'm delaying your break. Just checking all the dependencies are pulled in or not. That is all I'm checking. Yeah, looks okay. Save it. You know the whole thing. And right click on this project, Maven, update project, and force update. And you are downloading, you see at the bottom right corner, and tell me, downloading of dependencies started. There are going to be Hibernate related dependencies you already have. What you don't have is the Spring jars. So for me, of course, it was, done. So why it is having a, just a second now. Should not have any issues like this, red crosses and all that. So let me just refresh the project first. Is the error going away? It's not going away. You continue with this jar. Anyway, let's not delay your this thing. So you just download the dependencies, and whenever we enter Spring, you will, oh, project might got repeated. Okay, thanks. Your copy pasting problem. Yeah, you are right. You could be right. I don't know. Yeah, you're so right. Thanks. It's a copy pasting problem. Yeah. So your dependencies should start getting downloaded. And after it is over, you should see the Maven dependencies. I have not done the update. You should see the so many dependencies. You are going to use the database common. So many things. Forget that. You will see all the Spring related dependencies pulled in. Okay. So that is how it should be. Okay. It was lagging. I said, I did not say anything important. I said, after your jars are downloaded, you should not. I did not force update it. Wait a second. Maven update. Force update. And the red crosses is gone. I told you what should you expect. So Hibernate related dependencies such as Hibernate core and all were already downloaded. I said Spring dependencies and their internal dependencies should start getting downloaded. So that is more than sufficient. You want this project also, just in case, I'll give you this also. So in case your that standalone project creation is not working, take up this and import it. That is also the same. Your downloaded dependency downloading will have to happen anyhow. Okay, so last upload from my side, the Spring Maven Hibernate project. This is the last time you are working in Maven directly. For next 2-3 days, I don't know exactly, I can't predict because that my whole calculation sometimes goes haywire. After we enter Spring Boot, none of these hassles would be there, is the only thing I can tell you. So day 13, open. Yeah, so download this and try it out in the break, and we'll resume with the entity and the value types after the break. So it is 11. Okay, so we'll see you at 11:25 in an hour's time.